welcome to Lernerville Speedway. We're here for the 20th annual Don Martin Silver Cup. And our first two guests are Tim Schaefer and Danny Holtgraver. We're going to start with Tim, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Danny's year. You know, Tim, I was fortunate enough to watch your career from when you first started. You were pretty young when you got into race cars.
I definitely started the first week I was actually 15 and then turned 16 the next weekend. We ran Sharon. Started there because the track was a little bigger and wider, and Ted Swantak was helping me out at the time. Him and his two sons, Billy and Teddy, they actually wanted me to get somewhere there was more room so they didn't have to build the car as much. Well,
and we should mention Ted Swantak, a very famous car owner, won a lot of races. One of his drivers, Dave Lundy, had a lot of success. Now, it's kind of interesting how you got Ted to help you. I'd like you to share that story. It's a kind of an interesting situation.
Oh, it definitely was. At the time, we didn't know what we were doing and didn't have a clue what sprint car was all about. And Ted lived down the road from us. My mother delivered the mail out on a rural route where Ted lived. So one day she went in and asked him if he would help us out and give us a hand on keeping me safe and keep me going in the right direction.
I think when I was talking to Lundy, I was asking him a little bit about Swantak, and I guess early on you come in and ask him about the wing, and Ted never ran wings. He did all at USAC, and they didn't have wings. And what did he tell you?
Well, that thing was just a crutch. He said real race car drivers, race without a wing, but the speeds were going and the bad crash you have nowadays, it's really nice to have that big pillow up there, and it still seems to hurt you pretty good. But the biggest thing Ted had problem was he used to hit his head on top of that wing every time getting over after work on the engine. Probably never really got used to it, but he was a big help. Helped me out on the engine program, the bar chassis, and everything. Very thankful.
When you started out, I mean, people see the success you're having now. You really paid your dues. I mean, some of the things, and we were talking off camera, I was down at Volusia one night. You come in with an old van, open trailer. The van was broke down. They had to tow you in. A rough way to get started.
Well, back then, it was you did whatever you had to do to get there, and it didn't matter when you started loving racing much as I did when we first started this thing, which I still do. But you do whatever it takes to get up and down the road, and that was part of the racing deal back then. So it's pretty nice now. You get all these big truck trailers, and it kind of makes it easier on the guys.
One night at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, I was the on-track announcer. You had a pretty bad crash. Your mom got over to the car first, and I think I was the next one there. A little bit about what happened there and the progress that you had recuperating.
It was one of them nights you're running the top five and doing real good, and the car was all over the track, and I'm still pushing it, and the steering come off on the left front and just drove into head on into the wall, and it actually my head come out of the cage and got in the guardrail and had severe head injuries, and my lower back was really bruised. And it took probably, 5-6 months just walking around the garage. I didn't even know where I was at because the swelling in the head and everything. And it was one of them deals when I came back, as soon as you obviously always want to come back quick. But once I got in the car, I knew I wanted to come back and do it, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to because after real bad injuries like that, you don't know what's going to go through your mind. But we threw a car together and got back out there, and it was like it never happened, and the rest is history.
Now, that was in your car, the 45. I remember doing some interviews when you were with Smith Klein Beechin in the Vibrant car, but fill in between the 45 and the Vibrant car.
Well, actually, I got hooked up with Tom Schaefer in the 21 car. We ran the Lernerville, won the track championship in '93 with him, and I think we won 10, 12 features that year in All-Star Show. It was one of them turning years for my career. It really helped out. Got more rides down the road and more opportunities. It was a pretty unique deal. I mean, me and Tom had a lot of fun. We raced hard. We kind of did the same thing, and was very successful together. And it really helped my career out.
I know when you were in the Vibrant car that they brought myself, Bill Steinbach, and Dick Curry down, and we would, whenever they would get one of their sponsors would have a driver, we would do some mock interviews. Early on, you were kind of hard to talk to. I think you got it figured out now.
Well, I got enough experience doing it now, but at first, I was pretty shy and backwards to start with, and then you stick a microphone in front of me, I really clammed up. But them classes we took down there, I still remember different things I still use today. It's amazing. That really helped. It's something I think it should be done more, and actually more than once.
Well, a couple things about the Don Martin race, then we're going to talk to Danny. You won the race in 2005, and you finished second to Ed Lynch in 2002. It was kind of interesting. 2002, the fans didn't know who to root for. Two Lernerville champions battling it out for the victory in 2002.
Well, it don't get any better than that, though. You know, when the two past champions is whooping on the Outlaws back then, that's pretty awesome. You know, I really wanted to win, but I was glad to see Ed win it too. But the guy I was driving for at the time was Dennis Roth in the beat packer, and he's still teasing me about
that. Still mad about that. We're going to talk a little bit with Danny, the 2010 Lernerville Sprint Car champion. Dan, I've watched your career, much like Tim's, and boy, you have really evolved on any given night, be it here, Pittsburgh, Mercer, wherever. You're the guy to beat.
Yeah, we couldn't have done a lot of the stuff we've done without the help of Tim. You know, he's been helping us out since the day we started, and you know, he's taught me a lot just from driving and everything, setting race cars up, working on them, and it's been a huge help.
I'd like you to share with the listeners what happened the night of the championship. He talked to you ahead of time. You finished fifth and won the title, and Dad was concerned. He thought the car wasn't going fast enough.
Yeah, you know, we went into the deal. I forget how many points, you know, where we had to be at, but we started 13th, actually missed it through the heat race, so that actually put us back a little bit where we had to be in the feature. But Tim said just go out and, you know, run a smart, clean race. If you make it to fifth, just relax. It's, you know, that counts as a win for you, and you win the points. So we went out, did that, and my dad said, what happened when you got to fifth? I said, well, I stopped racing. I slowed down, just relaxed, and won the points. You know, we won a championship. We got another top 5 at Lernerville, and you know, we won a championship, and that's what we've been trying to do all year.
You were listening to your mentor, and that's good. Now, down at Pittsburgh recently, same scenario. You go out in a heat race, you're like second, and everybody's thinking, wow, I don't think he's got what he needs here. But like shot from guns in the feature, same plan.
Yeah, kind of. You know, we struggled a little bit in the heat race, had the wrong setup in, I guess. But, you know, just went out and got into a transfer spot wherever we need to be for the invert, and you know, got a good start in the feature, went out, and just had a great race car and was able to come away with a win.
Now, Tim, back to you. How does a guy, a young driver, just getting his seat time in, how does he approach a champion and say, hey, I need some help? How did that come together?
You know, I really don't know. I like him a lot, and his whole family. Everybody's great people, and see the desire he had that he wanted it bad enough, you know, kind of made me want to help this kid. It's just amazing that he, as young as he is, that he's good on the throttle and the brake and uses his head so much, and he actually listens. It's pretty impressive.
That's a good thing when they listen. You know, Dan, you did the go-karts, you did the micros, and early on in your sprint car, you kind of you were 16 for a long time, but then you finally became 17.
Yeah, I was. I think the whole time I raced micro sprints, I was 16 years old for 3 years. But you know, I was actually 16 when I got into a sprint car, and I actually didn't have my license for the first couple weeks, and nobody believed me. I know Smokey didn't believe me, and you know, we finally got my license and just went from there. And
now that you're traveling around, after you won the title here, your dad said, you know, we don't have anything to prove. We want to travel around, doing a lot of things that maybe where Tim will have suggestions. And you find out not only traveling around, but finding some success. When you go to a track you've never been to before, you got to kind of lean on your teacher here to get some advice.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you know, he helps us out wherever. We still ask for help here at Lernerville. But whenever we go somewhere, you know, most of the time he's been there before. And, you know, he can point me in the right direction and just go out and race like you do anywhere else.
Well, we're talking to the 93 champion, Tim Schaefer, and the 2010 champion, Danny Holtgraver. I want to thank both of you for being with us, and good luck in tonight's races.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.